welcome back to Toya DTV and
Trenelle. Hey y'all, what's up?
all right, y'all. So we are here to talk about Potomac. As
Yes.
we know, y'all, this is some stuff that we've never seen in Bravo history. Okay, the uproar from Potomac alone did not even truly involve the show. All of this was social media. It was hard not to, dip and dabble in the social media aspects of what was going on in the show. I mean, all out wars on social media. So y'all, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
So
I feel like real quick, I've been trying to watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, and it's just not holding weight.
it
And
doesn't compare.
the Brooke Ashley, I don't know if you watch her reviews.
No, okay.
I've been following her on Twitter for a few years.
Okay.
She does reviews of Real Housewives of Potomac and the other franchises. And she even mentioned it in her videos, where she was just kind of like, I think because Potomac was so crazy
Right.
that, Atlanta's not hitting. So yeah, Potomac was and is wild. It was wild.
Right. There is some sort of disconnect with Atlanta.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the people. It just seems like there's not a lot of genuine friendships, I'll say.
Yeah.
Because we all giving Kenya the side eye right now. Like, really? You know.
LaToya, and I've been a fan of LaToya for a very, very long time. LaToya is crazy, out of her mind, and sometimes problematic, but I like LaToya, and I always felt like LaToya would be good on reality TV because her older vlogs were like a reality TV show, but it's just not. Yeah, it's not.
Something is.
I don't know. I think they just need like a new cast, but we're here to talk about Potomac. You right?
All right. So let's get into Potomac tea, y'all. So my first question. Well, I'm gonna just start with Robyn and her situation. Do you think that her and Juan will really ever truly like tie the knot again and be officially married?
I'm honestly not sure, and I think it's because I think maybe if we had more of a highlight on Robyn, like if Robyn wasn't in Giselle's shadow so much and we got to see more like her being real and authentic and not chasing behind Giselle, then I feel like I would have more insight into it. I think that they'll get married. Did I hear something that there was like another woman or something?
Well,
last week I feel like some news came out. It's crazy because the season is over and stuff is still coming out about Potomac.
Now that I haven't heard, but it actually wouldn't surprise me because on the show they went through counseling and everything, and Juan just kind of said that, hey, it sounds like you're kind of sugarcoating this. Look, we both were in bad places.
Yeah.
You didn't give me the attention I needed, and you put up a wall, and she said that he wasn't hands-on with the children and she was exhausted. So I really think all of that kind of played a role. So did he slide back into it? I really don't know. But I genuinely feel as though Robyn does not want anybody else. Period. Point blank.
Yeah.
Story over. He can do whatever he wants to do, but Robyn is gung-ho for Juan.
But I feel like he's being generous on the show. You know when somebody tells you what it is, but you don't want to see it for what it is.
Right.
So I'm feeling like, and that is when Juan was like, no, we both had our issues. We both had our situations and, we both were at fault. I feel like it's one of those things, like you knew what you were getting into, like when you started dating a professional athlete, you knew what this was.
Right.
I'm gonna look out for you. I'm gonna take care of you, take care of our kids, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. But like, you know what this is. And honestly, like people like that, they don't tend to settle down. I feel like, men be on that foolishness where it's like, they don't realize until like midlife, like late 40s, 50s, like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and settle down and marry this person. You just chose to be a tag along and come along for the ride because you got tunnel vision on him when he lets you know what it is. I just feel like he don't want to say that on camera.
But you know what though? She's been with him, I believe, before the career. They were high school sweethearts.
Wait, so they were married and then divorced? Did they divorce? Okay.
But never split, and they still remained in the same household.
She chose to be long suffering.
Right.
Just hoping that it's gonna pay off. I like Juan. I think I could like Robyn. I don't like her and Giselle together.
Right.
But that's because I'm not a fan of Giselle at all.
We'll get to that.
I be screaming when they call them the green-eyed bandits or whatever.
Right. Green-eyed bandits.
Because I feel like she's just chasing behind her. But I don't know. I think I would love for Robyn to find her own voice, to find her own identity, or maybe show that more on camera. I do want to be mindful, and I try to remind myself, this is a TV show, this is a production. So I'm sure there are plenty of things that we don't get to see, and that's because they want to portray people in a certain way. So maybe it is more, you know what I'm saying, like that we just don't get to see, but based off of what we see, I see Juan's like, let me go ahead and marry this woman so she can get off of my back.
Yeah.
But are you in love with her is what my question is.
Look, I think Robyn is that ride or die wife, girlfriend, whatever you want her title to be.
Yeah.
The sad part is men don't usually fall for that female.
Nah.
He's kind of like the go-to, I'm in a bind, get me out. They usually do not fall for women like that.
Ladies, let me tell you something. You gotta learn how to not be too accessible to these. Okay? Like,
yes.
I'm saying you gotta leave something for them to like to chase, because
know your value.
Know your boundaries, have parameters. Like, I'm working on finding the balance between not having this like whole cold wall up, but knowing who the heck I am.
Right.
Like, no, I am me. I am the gift. I am the prize. And I feel like if Robyn understood that more about herself, and like I don't know, but I'm also I'm not into women being long suffering at all. I don't like that we have to be long suffering. So I don't dislike Robyn at all. Actually, I don't. You know, Robyn gives me vibes like she could be the manager at Old Navy. Like you know, she would be that cool manager.
Right.
Like, did you take your break? I do enjoy. I think I could like Robyn a lot. I just wanted her to find who she is and stop living in the shadows, because you know.
Yeah. Here's the thing. This is a TV show, and I feel like once people have created this character of who they are on the show, they ride it out, and they ride it out regardless of what happens, because I feel like they think that's what secures them in the future seasons. Yeah. So, you know, Robyn started off being a part of the Green-Eyed Bandits and being Giselle's friend, and she wrote it out. Now, I feel like there's more to Robyn. I feel like Robyn is probably one of the most down to earth on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
But we don't get to see that part of her.
She doesn't give me fake, where I think Giselle gives me fake. She doesn't give me fake. She just needs to stop being support staff.
Right.
Stop being a customer service rep and become the supervisor.
Right.
So she has the hair for it.
The hair? Trenelle.
I'm just saying, she do. I want to see Robyn step up. Now, everybody has a lane, right? Mm-hmm. Like, Robyn gives me Cynthia, and Giselle gives me wannabe Nene, but that was never going to be that, you know? And eventually, Cynthia had to slowly but surely step out of Nene's like shadows and into her own. Granted, Cynthia gives me relevant as well. Like, I'm trying, you know what I mean? But I feel like there's more depth to Robyn. I feel like Robyn doesn't, like, where Cynthia needs Peter, right? Like
Right.
she needs Nene, she needs a storyline. I feel like Robyn knows that you are the storyline. Like, show us what it's like to be independent. Show us what it's like to have these kids. Show us what it's like to climb your way out of debt. Like, take what is people judge you for, take those things and like ride it, because you're not the only person. Like, most people are in those situations. And show us how you rise from the ashes. Like,
right.
step into your essence, okay?
Right.
That's just how I feel. Let me get some water.
So how they were having the engagement party, and Juan and Michael had this vibe going on.
Oh my God.
I was cringing watching that, because I would hate to think.
Go ahead.
Would hate to think that something happened between them two.
It didn't. Michael is just in love with Juan. You know, Michael is a fluid. I believe that Michael is fluid, okay? And do you. I have no problem. Like, literally, do you. I think he's fluid. And I think he's like obsessed with Juan, because I'm not a diehard, like, I know people like study the show. I watch the show, but I really enjoy it. But from what I remember, I think last season or seasons past, Michael, you know, he likes to grab a little booty. Even if he don't admit it. And I think he is obsessed with Juan, because Juan is a very handsome man. I don't know. I feel like Michael was envious of not Giselle, of Robyn personally.
I think he's obsessed with him, but I also, on the reverse side, think Juan is obsessed with the attention that Michael gives him.
Oh, see, I've never even considered that.
He's a spoiled athlete. Like, he loves the vibes of all the focus is on me. And, you know, Michael will pretty much do whatever Juan says. I mean, from the looks of it on the show, it seems as though whatever Juan
out. I guess, Michael could fly Juan out, and that's rare, especially when you're an athlete. You're used to being the one to have to maintain, but now maybe somebody can maintenance you. So
right.
I don't know. I don't see that romantic connection from Juan's side. I definitely see it from Michael's side.
Right.
But again, we don't get to see the friendships and the connections, like, because what is my girl? Yes, I said my girl. Monique's husband's name?
Chris.
Like, Chris and Chris are clearly friends, right? They're clearly friends. We might not see all of that, but they clearly got along. So this is like a bad look for them, because their wives are having their own disputes. You know what I'm saying? I see that connection with Chris and Chris. I do not see that connection with Michael and Juan. I see the infatuation that Michael has with Juan, but I'm not getting that energy completely from Juan. But now that you mention it, I'm gonna probably, if they're on the next season, I'm gonna probably be like, oh, okay.
Well, you know, something else that I noticed, I think Michael and Juan also bond on the fact that they both don't like the show.
Yeah.
So they do probably have a genuine friendship off, you know, without cameras.
See, that's my thing though. It's like, I never understood why Michael Darby was on the show. Like, because they are wealthy. So I don't understand, if you don't like the show, why agree to be on it?
Because of Ashley. Ashley wants her check.
I guess, but I don't know. I think it's because some people clearly chase the fame, and maybe he just wanted to support his wife, as he should. So touche. I'm just like, if you don't want to be here, then go.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay. Part 3 of the Potomac reunion. This went over my head, so I'll ask you.
Okay.
Remember when, I believe Chris was talking to Robyn, and Robyn just started saying, I am so glad Juan Dixon is not here. I am so glad. Like, she started yelling. what happened with that? Because I don't understand. I don't understand what he asked her to make her flare up in that way.
I think it was just that it was embarrassing and that she just, well, hold on, because I was upset. So I was annoyed. I don't dislike Robyn. I dislike Robyn and Giselle, and I completely disliked all of them on the last reunions because I felt like they were deflecting and not taking ownership and responsibility.
Right.
Or I just feel like people were ridiculously tough on Monique when I'm like, so y'all didn't watch the other seasons, or y'all didn't see the other fights that happen on other franchises. Why are we going so hard on Monique for a little hair pull? Like, it was the dumbest thing in the world to me. So I just think she was happy that he wasn't there because she just didn't want to have to answer for those questions. Like, I feel like it was deflection. I don't know what it was about. I don't.
I mean, but she really did that. Like, she learned that from Giselle or somebody, because out of nowhere, she just started yelling, I am so glad Juan Dixon is not here.
I have to go back. She did. I didn't understand what it was either, but I think what happens is when you don't want to be accountable or answer questions and stuff, you just turn up so people take the energy off of what it was that was actually the focus of that. I don't know. That the whole reunion itself was crazy. All of them.
It seemed, to me, the reunion seemed very one-sided.
Yes.
Like, okay, the things that we thought Candiace was going to be asked, she wasn't asked, but we'll get to that.
I should have brought my tissue. I should have brought the tissue that Ashley used to, or not Ashley, that Candiace.
You gotta fold. And she will not let one tear fall until she has that paper folded just right in that triangle, honey. Dab, dab, dab. So I recently heard that Robyn has been fired. Did you hear that?
I heard it, but then I think I heard also with Monique quitting the show, maybe Robyn will come back on. But this is what I'm saying. That's why I want Robyn to step out of the background and really step up so that she can have an actual entertaining storyline.
Her time is up. I don't want to see any more of Robyn. She has had 5 seasons with the same storyline. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, and
it's too late.
Her, I personally, as much as I would say I would like to see Giselle gone, Giselle plays a role in that. She's like, I love the Grand Dame, and like the Grand Dame said, she's entertaining to watch. Like, her outfits, what are you wearing? Yeah. And
her reads, honey.
And it was fun to watch Monique drag her for filth.
Oh my gosh. So
it's what she deserved. It's what she deserved. We'll see if Robyn is truly fired, or if because I know they have to shift some things around now that Monique quit. So I'm not sure. You never know until they actually show.
Right. Now, I heard that Robyn is going to be on Basketball Wives now.
I could absolutely see her on Basketball Wives.
She belongs there.
I think that's a great fit for Robyn.
She belongs there, yeah.
Definitely. Why wasn't she there to begin with, actually?
She has green eyes.
I mean, it's good to know that she's still going to be getting a check because, that's a really good source of income. Sometimes I try to remind myself and I'm like, I want them going. I'm like, that's somebody's income. That's somebody's money.
Right.
So, it's good we never want to see a Black woman unemployed. So
right.
Good for her if she did get picked up on Basketball Wives. But if she did not, I hope and then she does get another opportunity wherever she goes. I just want to see her step out and step up.
I want to see her genuinely. Yes.
She can hold her own. Because she does, even though I didn't agree with her sometimes in this reunion, she got her own voice when she wanted to have it. But I could tell that she will hold back on stuff, even talking about Giselle or not really holding Giselle accountable and stuff like that, or kind of skating around it. There's no accountability with Giselle. You know what I mean? But when she would say things, I'm like, nah, you got your own voice. Use it.
Right. Right. So, during the reunion, a question came up about whether there is colorism between the ladies on the show.
Yeah.
So I guess Wendy tried to explain it, but it was very confusing the way she tried to say it.
Yeah.
So the way she broke it down was that women like Ashley need to watch how they talk to women like Candiace and Wendy, because that's like a dog whistle to tell everybody else they can talk to them that way. Do you agree with that?
No. And I say this, like, we're both brown skinned women. Mm-hmm. So, I get what they were trying to say. I think you need to be mindful. Yes, I do think you need to be mindful of what you say, because that can trigger things. And we know as darker skinned women, as brown skinned women, like, you can say some things sometimes and I'll be like, what? Or like, what you say about my friend? Like, absolutely not. However, the point of this show is to be messy. The point of this show is to be shady.
Right.
And I don't necessarily feel like it was colorist, because Candiace has said the most nasty, foul stuff about people. Like, she, I think she said something, I don't know if he was a blogger or something like that.
Yeah.
That man killed himself. Rest in peace. So
said that, I'm going to tell you what she said.
Okay.
She said that he is a fat blogger, that he can't breathe because there's so much fat around his heart, and that he should die. And when is he going to die?
Yeah. So yeah.
If you can fix your mouth to say something like that about another human being, period. I don't care if they're on the show, off the show, male, female, color, none of that matters. If you can say that about another human being, something is mentally wrong with you.
It's foul. You speak to hurt. Your goal and your aim in life is to hurt.
Yep.
So knowing that, having that context and a well-documented history of the filthy things that she has said, you want to say that, you know, there's colorism. I don't have sympathy at all for Candiace, and I call BS on that. Does colorism exist? Hell yeah, and I would be foul and wrong and like stupid if I said that it didn't. And you know, I do think that these shows often are colorist. I just don't see it. Like I don't see
in that particular situation.
In that particular situation and in Potomac, because if anything, I feel like they're all like babying and coddling her. So Candiace. Right. So I just don't. Yeah, no, I personally.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit of a stretch. Now, I mean, Ashley has said some really foul things. Like, Ashley has a real nasty mouth as well. And no, yeah, because Giselle, like, they do say and do some pretty foul things.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like there is no accountability there, but Candiace does too. And there's no accountability there. So,
and they tried to force Candiace to apologize to Ashley at the dinner or whatever. It's like, I don't fully know what it is, but
maybe I'm biased. Maybe it's because, okay, and here's the thing. I don't dislike Candiace at all, actually. I just can't stand her, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's weird because, well, I think Candiace is not a good person, but I don't hate Candiace. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
However, I say that because, yeah, they did try to make her apologize to Ashley and stuff like that, because you were wishing ill on her when the woman was giving birth to her kid. You know what I mean? You said some really nasty things about her. So yeah, that's my thing. Y'all don't get to apply pressure and then be like, oh, I said I'm sorry, let's move on.
Right.
When the whole show is about applying pressure. I think that's why I just don't understand the colorist accusations with all of this context that we do have about these people. And Dr. Wendy, I like Wendy. I think Wendy could be a long-term cast member.
Mm-hmm.
I think she sided with the wrong team. Like that's how I feel about Wendy. So I'm just like, Wendy, sis, I need you to just be quiet for a second, because first of all, don't act like you haven't watched the seasons before. Don't act like all of this is new to you. But like, no one said anything bad about you, Wendy. So what are you even talking about? I don't know. I feel like she was like clearly biased and in favor of Candiace this whole season, because that's who she chose to side with, because she's a Black elitist and so is Candiace, and I want to talk about that. Now that's the stuff I don't like about Candiace at all. So I feel like she's just going to side with whatever Candiace
regardless.
And I also think that, you know what I mean? Like, clearly they've experienced colorism. Like, we've all experienced colorism. And so we can but like, we can make any situation, we can point out colorism and the roots of it and all of that stuff there. So maybe she was taking energy from other situations that she's experienced outside of Potomac and applying it here, but I just don't see it. The colorism thing, I didn't see it in this season in Potomac. I didn't.
I really don't understand, because colorism does exist. However, the context that Dr. Wendy was saying it in, I didn't agree with that. Yeah. You know, she was saying how Ashley talks to people. But look at how Candiace talks to
That's my whole
Monique.
Thing. Like,
I mean, Candiace comes in to kill with her mouth. Like, there's no other reason. Like, she wants you bleeding out, you know?
She wants to hurt you. She wants you to think that she's better than you. She has a sense of entitlement. She's very much Jack and Jill. She wants you to know that you are beneath her and you are not good enough for her. Right. And she makes you feel like trash. Where I feel like Ashley came up like poor or whatever. Ashley is very new money. I feel like Candiace is old money. And so I feel like Ashley has something to prove. And so she's like, you know, being extra and being on like that, to be like, no, you don't get to talk to me like that. Let me put you in your place.
Right.
Sure. Ashley has a like almost equally foul mouth as Candiace. Like, Ashley maybe that's where they're making the colorism from, because we're hyper focused on Candiace when Ashley Darby has said some real nasty stuff too. So maybe that's where the colorist accusations are like rooted in. It's like, why y'all going so hard on me? Why are you going so hard on Dr. Wendy? All because I talk about me and my degrees, when Ashley has said these like really nasty things. We haven't even talked about the foul things that Giselle has said. Giselle is a real nasty person too, or Robyn. Like, they're all, but even Karen. I consider Monique brown skin, like she's lighter, but brown skin or whatever. Right. That's my thing. Like, y'all all say nasty stuff. Maybe the colorist accusations come because we choose to focus on Candiace this season. Right. But Candiace, you won't stop crying. You won't stop complaining. You won't stop running your mouth. Like, you won't stop doing these things. You're putting the attention on yourself. The producers are putting the attention on you. Andy is putting the attention on you. So that's why it's the focus. I get it. I get what it could be. But like, listen, I'm not a fan of Ashley Darby like that either. It's just that the attention is on you because you're putting the attention on yourself with you in your mouth.
So with her doing all of that, is that something that you think a traumatized person would be doing?
Who? Candiace?
Candiace. At the reunion, when Monique was being spoken to, Candiace kept chiming in with negative things, and at one point she was talking to Robyn or Giselle.
Yeah.
And Candiace was like, "Are you provoking her?"
Listen, Candiace.
Wait a minute.
Okay, so
she does know what provoking is, right? So she does know.
Well, I think she was being sarcastic there.
Right.
Because, Candiace was saying that, or excuse me, Monique was saying that she was provoked. So I think she was trying to be like, oh, so you said, you provoked me, but are you provoking her? Because if she was to whoop yo, you know what, then it would be justified. First of all, I think it was justified. Let me tell y'all something. My dad is from New Orleans, 9th Ward, okay? My mother is from the projects in Virginia and also spent her summers in New York with her cousins. I am from Long Beach. I mean, I grew up everywhere because we moved a lot because my dad was in the Navy. But the point is, where I come from and the way I was raised, you keep your mouth shut. Like, you don't speak negatively. Don't talk if you can't back it up. Because you're going to run your mouth and you're going to run up and get done up. Like, you're going to have to catch this work. No, you're going to have to catch this work. You cannot. Words mean things. Shout out to Crystal West from the Read. Words mean things. You cannot go around talking crazy to people, being extra animated, putting your hand in people's face, speaking foul, speaking ill on people. If this is what we see on camera, imagine the things that we don't get to see on camera. Yes. I feel like sometimes if you run your mouth like that, that is what happens. Now, we are all grown. We need to keep our hands to ourselves. 100%. Absolutely. But if I feel like I need to protect myself, if you are in my area, like in my area code, all up in my face, and you're
when you see this on TV, that made something flare up in me. When you're wait a minute, that was like up in this area. Wait a minute,
like you're doing a lot. I need you to now. If she had stepped back a little bit, or if even Monique would have stepped back a little bit, okay? Because I do want to say we're accountable for our actions, okay? And I feel like Monique was absolutely ridiculous after, the little scuffle. After all of that stuff where she went crazy and she blacked out, I was like, you doing all this over like I felt like it was really, really extra, and I feel like Monique and her bird can be extra sometimes. I want the bird to go away, okay?
I like T'Challa. T'Challa can stay.
T'Challa can fly, okay? And I'm not convinced that she didn't make up T'Challa flying away. I'm not convinced, okay? There are some things about Monique where I'm like, sis, now, I like you, and I was happy you did what you did, but sis, like...
Let's talk about that. Let me tell you what I think. Yeah. As far as I'm gonna call it an altercation, I don't feel like it was really a fight.
It wasn't.
Monique got a couple of tags in. She got a couple of tags, but
it was a little.
Somebody truly get their hands on Candiace, she is done for. If she's already feeling like this, she's done.
And you know why? I guess the reason why, and I think a reason why a lot of folks don't feel bad is because of the nasty things that she says. And like you said, the way she said, I was just watching your review of one where she's like, you're hood. You are
hood rat.
Hood rat. All right, now there's ways that you hood. Like there's ways that you can say things, but when you say it, you use Black culture, like things that we associate with Black American identity. You use that as like a bad thing. So I feel
because she don't identify with it. She looks down on
Jack and Jill.
Right.
Like that's what she's from. That's what the show was supposed to be initially, and then it transitioned into this. So when you start using that stuff, then I see that as an attack on my people. Right. And as an attack on my people, when you attack me, we're gonna defend ourselves. So I just see Monique doing what she had to do for the culture, period.
I felt like Monique figured, I'm already fired. You know what? Cool. Let me go get her for real now.
Because what I don't need is this check.
Right.
Like, we good. Whereas Candiace, let's go back to it. Candiace, because that's how she spelled her name, which is stupid. Candiace clearly needs this check. Why are we talking like they treat Candiace like a 16-year-old who just got a new car for the first time because she worked really hard at her part-time job and she saved $2,700 and she got a reliable Honda? I feel like that's how they treated the house that she just bought without her mother's assistance. Why did we need to know that? Why are we focusing on this? Like, she talked about like those things, like, and they were celebrating her for those for those things, and she still clearly doesn't get it because she was running her mouth on Monique the whole time, that whole thing. So I'm like, oh, so you didn't learn. Her problem is no one has ever held her accountable, and she cannot believe that someone actually put their paws on her, and she doesn't understand that words mean things and that you have to be accountable for what you say. If you ask me, you know, I'm not gonna say that because I have a brand to be mindful of.
I think Candiace, the biggest thing with Candiace is her embarrassment. That's what I think. Yeah. The fact that when she sat up off that table and her hair was
it was disheveled.
Walk over this way, the camera's over there, I got your wig. I mean,
you know, it was a little entanglement. That's all it was. Like, it wasn't even, I feel like they blew this up to be so much bigger than what it was. My question is, do you think that they really did start the rumors about the trainer and Monique and the baby? Because I think that's why a lot of folks think that Monique is delusional, because she made up all of this plot. She put this plot and stuff on them. I will give Candiace, and this is why I said I don't hate Candiace. I'm just annoyed with her regarding this. Because I also saw moments when she clearly tried to be the bigger person. Right. In the early, you know, in bits and parts of the season. So I'm not saying that she wasn't wrong to be frustrated with Ashley. I'm not saying that she wasn't wrong to be frustrated with Karen. I'm not saying that she was wrong to feel those ways, those ways about that stuff, but she just doesn't understand, like, it's you, like, it's your actions, it's the things that you've done. Just because you move on from something don't mean that people get to move on from it. You said some things that probably triggered a person to harm themselves, and that person is no longer living. Right. So you don't get to tell them and their family, oh, I apologize, or I didn't mean it like that, or I didn't tell them to. No, you did, actually. And people don't get over it. Like, your word is your word, and it's out there. You put it out there. Words are powerful, and the things that you put onto people, that sticks with them sometimes.
I feel like if Candiace ever apologizes, it's simply just to do it. I believe everything that comes out of Candiace's mouth, she means 100%. Plain and simple. I believe that she means it, because as a pageant girl, you're taught to think before you speak. Think about how it's going to affect people. Think about how it comes across, the way you use your words. That is all training. And
listen, in my day job, my boss, I'm an HR director, and my boss, like, sometimes, because she really knows me, like, we've known each other for a very long time, I'll be like, can you just look over this? Because it's really obvious. I know how, when I want to hurt you, I know how to hurt you with my words. I'm like a wordsmith when it comes to things. I can be, especially when I'm trying to hurt you. That's because I'm an Aries, and that's just what we do. So I have to the point where I have to think about what I'm saying to make sure, okay, let me not try to be harmful in this moment. Right. Because I don't believe in putting my hands on people. But if I want to cut you, I'll cut you with my words. And I think Candiace is really good at doing that, just like she's really good at not taking ownership or deflecting. Like, she gaslit. I feel like they gaslit Monique this whole time.
Right. I don't fully understand.
My bad. I'm sorry.
You're fine. I truly don't understand. I know production was like, okay, this was an altercation. We have to take this seriously. So we're going to shine the light on Candiace because she was the one getting, you know, the brunt of what was going on. Mm-hmm. What I don't understand is how they asked Monique all of these questions regarding it. Like, you don't seem remorseful, or you don't seem upset. But they did not ask Candiace, do she think she provokes people or whatever. I know there was a question where she was asked, does she have remorse for provoking people throughout the season? And she danced around the answer. Well, yes. I do use my words intelligently, and it is sometimes to my detriment. Girl, just say yes or no.
Just say yes. I mean to hurt people when I say those things.
Right.
I do. And I mean, she get it from her mama.
Exactly.
So, and I feel like, and that's why I don't, okay, so prior to this season, I even still like Candiace, sort of, kind of, sometimes, because I understand we are who we were brought up and raised with. A lot of the things that we do, even like, you know, we all have to unlearn and work through and process stuff. So when we saw how ridiculous and nasty, because her mom has her mother has a nasty spirit. She got that Miss Joyce spirit.
Mama Joyce, honey.
I love Mama. Well, I like
Mama Joyce. Mama Joyce will break out and hit you with a shoe. I'm sorry, but I'll be fighting you back. I don't care.
Okay. Now listen, I love Candy.
Candy, don't come for me. We love
Candy,
you.
Please don't, because I love you, and I actually think Mama Joyce is comedy, but she disrespectful. Okay.
Right. She is on purpose.
Yeah, on purpose. Yeah. But I don't think it's because she thinks she's better than nobody.
No.
And that's how I feel like Candiace's mother is. We saw that when Candiace's mom, the way that she treated Candiace's siblings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Did not want him at the wedding. I mean, it was crazy.
That's nasty. So Candiace inherited that stuff from her mom, and it really hurt her. So I think that's why I felt, and I feel for Candiace. Like, I understand what kind of shaped you to be the way that you are, but my thing with Candiace is, you are a big girl, okay? Take the training bra off, put the real bra on, put your big girl panties on, and be a woman. You are not a child anymore. You have to take ownership and accountability for your life and be like, you know what? I know that I'm this way. Yes, I say things to hurt people. I recognize that is foul, and I am working through it, and you have to work through it. That's why I like her husband, because I feel like he balances her. He balances her out. But she has said some nasty stuff to him too.
Yes, I was watching prior seasons, and she cut him deep. She mentioned his dad, and they had a bad relationship or something growing up, and she told him he's just like his dad, he's a deadbeat and all of this stuff. That is horrible. It's all because he had called her a princess because she made him hold her purse.
And she is a princess.
She is. But she hates being called that.
The way that they coddled her, she is a princess. Like, you are. Like, I would be like, I know.
Look, honestly, I still want to see Candiace succeed. I don't hate her.
I liked her song. I think Candiace has a nice voice. I think Candiace is beautiful. I love it. I love to see Black women indulging in luxury. I love it. Take that brand, Candiace, and run with it. I don't dislike Candiace, but just understand, when you talk to the right, she met her match.
Right.
She met the right one. She met the right one who didn't have nothing to lose. And you're going to run up on people like that. It was a lesson. Take the life lesson. Take the L. Learn from it.
She has not learned.
She has not learned from it.
You know what?
She's a victim in it. And I get it, because I know some high society people, and I've lived in some like wealthy places growing up. So I know that, I know how some elitists work, where they can talk nasty and filthy, and it's okay, it's acceptable to cut with your words or whatever, but like, you don't put your hands on people. That's just like a hard limit. You don't do that. So I can understand how this experience could be really, really shocking to your system. But when you talk to a person and that's why you can't talk crazy to people, because you don't know where people are from.
Right. And you don't know what they've been through.
You don't know what they've been through. And I guess that's why I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I won't talk crazy. I can't talk. I mean, I do talk crazy, but
I think it's in all of us, honestly.
You know, to talk crazy.
Really
However, I know the limits of what to say.
Right.
Because I am 4'11". Like,
I would love for Candiace to just take accountability. If she would just take accountability and say she's working on her, and take that mirror she's holding up to Monique and shine it on her, I think she would flourish.
It's like that. You could have fought back, sis. That's my whole thing. So this is
she couldn't fight back. She said she was holding the wig with one hand and she had the glass in the other hand.
I would have pulled my own wig off.
Right. It would have been over. Yes.
And it would have been a wrap. Fight back. You could have grabbed her for
she can't, because she's all about image. She can't. If that wig would have come off, Candiace would have melted onto the floor.
Words are just as powerful, as bad as physical action.
Yeah.
So you look like a bad person. Look, I didn't call you a bad person. You look like a bad person because of the nastiness of your tongue. Life and death lies in the power
of the
tongue. Your own tongue. It is foul. It is foul. And when people do and say really bad and nasty, mean things, that makes people want to physically hurt them, to protect and defend themselves and to defend other people. I think like she doesn't understand when you are harsh like you are to Monique, not really to Monique, but to people like the fat phobia. I'm a big girl.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? That makes me have even less like
then the fact that she has something against the, LGBTQ community. Like she has something against them, but it's like
against regular black people.
Who has to prove anything to her? Who is she? Who does she know? Who does she think she is?
Candiace gives me, we also own slaves vibes.
Girl.
And that right there is why I feel nothing for you. This was for my ancestors, period.
Girl. Look, when we were watching the reunion, I gotta admit, it actually hurt me to hear Karen say out loud what Candiace texted her, that she can go and burn in eternal hell.
You wish death upon
all because Karen would not pick a side. Like, are you serious?
And I understood where Karen was. Like, I understood the position that Karen was in. And that's not to say that Karen is not without fault. Like, that's not to say that. We've seen Karen throughout the years, but like, and I will say, I do hope that they can mend. All I want is for Candiace to take accountability, realize her position, like that she is in, and her privilege. She has privilege, and she uses that privilege as like, I don't know, she uses
a whipping stick. She beats people down with it.
She uses it against other black people. Like, and we see that. And if you want to know why people maybe aren't siding with you, it's because even if I didn't come from the hood maybe, but a lot of my family did. Like,
right.
And I go to the, like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I get real defensive and protective when you start talking crazy and coming for my people.
Right.
And sometimes you just get beat up, but she didn't even get beat up. Like you said, it was a little scuffle. It wasn't even a fight. And my thing with Andy is like, why are you going so hard on Monique for this? But we didn't even spend all this energy on Portia, who dragged Kenya.
Literally.
We didn't spend all this energy even on Cynthia. And okay, and then the real fights. Okay, listen, it all goes down on Married to Medicine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We didn't put all of this energy into those things. We didn't put all those we celebrated when Malaysia beat down, who did Malaysia beat down in Basketball Wives? It was like season 1. She beat
I don't watch
somebody
Basketball
out.
Wives.
Oh no, Drea knocked somebody out. Like the fights that happen on back, like there's been fights everywhere.
Right.
And let's talk about mob wives. Like let's take the energy off of Black people and talk about where we see it in other, like we see it. I just don't understand how Andy could just be so biased to in favor of Candiace. Like all of this crazy stuff isn't happening with other people. Andy needs to stop hosting the reunions. Andy, I don't understand why Andy is still hosting the reunions, because he did not do a good job. There was something that you could have put everybody on the coals and on that stage. All of them could have been on the coals, with the exception of Wendy, I guess. And I even wanted him to ask more questions about Wendy and her mother. I wanted him to ask more questions beyond like, how are you handling this fame? Hey, how is it going now that you're getting notoriety? Has your mother changed her up? Like there were some things that he could have even asked Wendy more. Like I just don't think Andy did a good job, and I think he like hyper focused. But I think it's because maybe the Samuels put him in his place because they don't see him. That's probably what it was. And
but what was up with him in disbelief that Chris Samuels is still making money? Like he was like, no, isn't that what he used to make? It's like, Andy.
Listen, that's because they're used to us being beggars. Like they only see us as having to be the beggars and not being, as they don't see us as equal to them. They don't see us as smart as them. And that's on a deeper level that is beyond the show.
Right.